mode right now.
Yeah, you told me about your app a little bit, how it's completely frozen and not doing anything.
Awesome. Welcome, everybody. We are starting a little bit late because in true startup fashion, there's always some new thing to deal with. And so Carrie is joining us from Aurora Beacons. Now, you're probably saying, what the heck is a beacon? Because I know some of you don't even know what bots are yet. But Carrie is going to enlighten us and tell us about beacons and bots and how they can help us supersize our businesses. So welcome, Carrie. So happy to have you today.
I am so happy to be here today, Sharon. Thank you so much. Yeah.
Tell us what you're doing and how you got into it and why you're doing it and how it can help us.
Okay, so I'll try to give you the condensed soup version. Okay, so I was in restaurants for 13 years and I blazed my path through my restaurant career and I made it all the way to executive chef almost exactly a calendar year ago today. And I was looking around and realized that if ever there was going to be the perfect situation where I should have been as happy as I had ever been, I was standing right in it. And it was the most miserable I had been in my life. So I went through some pretty dramatic changes personally, mindset changes, all of those things. Pretty much I called it my dark winter period because it literally was the winter in Michigan and I was dealing with all of my own bullshit and really started putting names to the things that I was really good at doing from my restaurant career and finding ways to attribute those to other parts of me that had nothing to do with cooking food. And that was really hard. It was really, really challenging, but successful. I was working with a coach and I took on a digital marketing internship to try to learn some new skills. And the guy that I interned through was using chatbots as a direct tool for real estate agents. So part of my digital marketing internship with him was learning soup to nuts how to write chatbots, how to implement them on business pages, how to use all the cool tools that ManyChat has to help those pages grow with the bot. And then all of the cool ass shit that the bot can do. It's hard to talk to people about chatbots sometimes because it is so unlimited, just open-ended. It can do whatever you program it to do, which is really cool. So the true little bitty definition to what is a chatbot, it is a pre-programmed messenger conversation. So I leaned into my 13 years of service experience and all of the millions of people that I had talked to in my career and realized that I was actually really good at reverse engineering a conversation. And it happened really easily for me. And I didn't struggle where some of my other intern peers really just had a hard time with finding the right words at the right time. And so I kind of am like, okay, well, this bot thing, this is something really cool. It was something that at the time in like February or March was still just really increasing in popularity in small businesses. And it was a buzzword. I'm like, well, I'm going to capitalize on this real quick. So I took on my first client, built my first couple of bots, made my first money online, which was powerful. That was the first day I got my first retainer from a client and it hit my checking account. My husband and I were sitting here. We were sitting here on this couch and I got the ping from Venmo and I looked at it on my phone and I went, oh my God. And my husband's like, what? And I pulled it up on my screen. I'm like, I just got paid to do a thing I never put my hands on. And it was the first time in my life that I had made that connection in my mind to where I have skills and I have resources and abilities and knowledge to be able to help people, especially small business owners. Being in restaurants kept my heart in small businesses. I always tried to work for mom and pop places where I could make the most impact with the things that I knew how to do. And that carried through with me into starting to work as an agency model with small businesses. We want to help people grow. We want to help people use the things that they already have established and blast them. And so we started using our beacons. That's kind of when the beacon chatbot thing, there was kind of this swooshy between the two. but I was learning about them independently. And then all of a sudden it was clear like a bright light that they were meant to go together. So a beacon is a small plastic device. It's about the size of a yo-yo. And the only thing that it does is broadcast a message through Bluetooth about your brand. That message is 40 characters long, and you can attach a link. So that's pretty interesting. And I was sitting back with my great big brain thinking about that, right? Like, this is another thing that's just really endless. The opportunities and the possibilities are completely open-ended. And so then I really started working with the beacons combined with some of the really cool features of the chatbot and broadcasting a message locally. So imagine you're a small cafe and you have a beacon on your front door, and your nighttime manager has a beacon on his keychain, and your chef has a beacon on his keychain. So at any given time, in any given place, there are 3 messages being broadcast about your business to a 100-meter range around the beacon. And anyone who's in that 100-meter bubble that has their Bluetooth on can see your message, tap on it, and then automatically be engaged into your Facebook Messenger chatbot. And that was the powerful moment where we really realized that we could help small businesses convert their physical customers into people that were in their digital pipeline, where they were able to then really offer some brand development, to start working really hard on that know, like, trust, to educate about the products and services that they had. We were able to offer amazing coupons and discounts very quickly and very easily to people who are opted into a business's chatbot. And it all happens in a really comfortable, familiar, conversational way for the consumer, for the person who's seeing it. They just get a really lovely Facebook message from your business that says, "Hey, Sharon, we're glad you're still here following us. Why don't you check out this really awesome special deal we have just for people who are with us in Messenger?" And it's amazing. It's amazing. And it really just blew up and took off from there with the beacons and the bots. And then we rolled into startup mode, and that's a whole other story. That's amazing.
Well, especially because you're manufacturing and you're having your own bot or your own beacons, right? So you're having your own, then that's where I think when you get into the physical product that the startup becomes a little more complicated.
Yeah. So, well, it's not, let's see if I can nail this in one breath. We're sourcing our beacons. We've developed our own platform for our beacons. Our beacons will have our own brand, but we are not physically manufacturing our beacons yet.
Right.
Yet.
I did the manufacturing end of stuff, so I know how.
It's on the table as of yesterday. We realized that. I'm like, oh shit. All right.
I think projects, they take on a mind of their own sometimes, but you just kind of got to go with them and go with what works.
Yeah.
Well, why I'm really excited about this is I work with people helping them to grow their business and supersize it in whatever way they need to. And what I find working with small business and being a small business owner for a lot of years prior to coming online is that one of the things we really ignore and put to the back burner is anything marketing or sales related, because there's traditionally been no proof of return on investment in advertising and things. And since I got involved in the digital world a little over a year ago, I see how different the digital world actually is, because you can show people return on investment and real results, unlike traditional advertising formats. And so when I see things like this and you guys combining 2 technologies, it's just so mind-boggling and powerful what can be created and how it can help different businesses.
Yeah, powerful, I think, is the word that keeps popping up. There's just, we're struggling most as our brand right now with the number one entrepreneur no. And that is, we're having a hell of a hard time niching down on a system that can literally help any business, any college, university, any public space that's got lots and lots of area that wants to be able to communicate with people within that space. Like it's limitless.
Right.
limitless.
I would start with restaurants and bars.
We made a list of 8 to 10 industries that we have specific created services for already, that we already have proof of concept in as well. But we kind of shifted it a little bit, and we are going to be targeting initially in our rollout. Of course, we have our independent small businesses, and we're going to have amazing packages and a really, really sweet offer for people who buy in our pre-sale stage. We're giving away a chatbot.
Nice.
As part of our package, because it's important. It's so powerful. And it's just amazing. It's fucking awesome. So every business that we work with initially is going to get a chatbot, no matter what package they come in through. But we're also going to have some startup specials with smaller packages for people who might be a little hesitant to order maybe 5 beacons at a time, and that's fine. And we're really going to be working hard on getting in touch with Chamber of Commerce in local areas to try to do some community building business. The reality with the beacons, and it's kind of a catch-22 when I'm talking with business owners, because it's new and it's a little uncomfortable and they're a little hesitant about whether it's actually going to work. People do tend to order fewer beacons. So let's say they'll order 2, but really there's a sweet spot of about 5 beacons, where if you have about 5, you strategically place a few in locations that don't move, and then you have a couple that do move, or you rotate them all the time. It's fine, but you want to create that network for yourself. And the idea of creating that network of beacons for one business spawned the idea of our collective model, which is something that's really kind of different. So in addition to getting all the cool free shit in our packages for our startup, we have designed our program to be a way that all of our clients can help elevate all of our other clients. Essentially, what we're doing is creating digital interactive billboard space anywhere our beacons live. And so when we really started thinking about it in that light, I'm like, well, how powerful would it be if we could share messages and rotate them? Because for us on the back end, the management side, it's really easy to change those messages. But it's really powerful when you can be business A on one side of town and have your collective message shared at business B, maybe 15 or 20 minutes away, to an area that's not necessarily in your neighborhood, but still close enough to your business that people are going to want to be able to come in. And you expand that bubble that you market to, and you make your business neighborhood bigger. So that's it's a cool thing.
Very cool, especially if you are linking businesses that are compatible together. So you don't have 2 restaurants both sending each other's message, but if you link, different businesses that really make sense to be linked together, a nail salon and a beauty salon and
a coffee shop
or
a museum with a discount. Right. There's just, all kinds of cool things.
Endless possibilities.
Yeah. So we also have a pretty cool idea also to break into a new area, kind of as an authority. And we designed this tourism package, which is why we're going to talk to Chamber of Commerce people. But it's a scavenger hunt with our beacons.
Love scavenger hunts.
Yay!
At the front of my group. That's why I like them.
Yeah, I saw your group.
We're actually, nobody knows this, but we've designed a scavenger hunt to launch our mobile app.
Nice.
We did it a year ago. It's like, but the app is stuck in programming. So someday we'll have a scavenger hunt for that. And we might have to have beacons because we were going to use stickers. But I'm thinking beacons would be a lot more fun.
Beacons are a lot more fun. There's also this other little product that we're using as well. And it's designed to sit next to everything else. So like we'll use all of these tools for all of our clients. But there's another way that we've learned through the months we've been following these systems. When you have the ability to use old-fashioned signage to tell people who are visiting your business that they can turn on their Bluetooth, to get the best deals for your brand by opting in, that we have a much higher opt-in rate. People have to have a call to action or they do not know what to do at all. And so that's kind of on the strategy side of what we've been working out for our clients. And there is another really cool tech tool that we're going to be using with our old school signs that makes it not so old school at all. And it's an NFC chip. It's near field communications. So if you've ever been in a situation where you see a cool sign and it's got a little spot that says, put your phone here for more information, and you just touch your phone to the spot, that's exactly the kind of technology we're going to be using in our signage to help complete the loop of people who maybe are having a hard time finding the Bluetooth message, which happens. It doesn't happen all the time, but it happens. Or maybe they just don't want to turn on their Bluetooth. And that you want an easier win. And we're going to use the NFC chips for those situations too. And it takes everybody to the same place. It's just a different car to get there. So, yeah.
One question. Say I have 5 beacons for my restaurant, which I don't have a restaurant anymore. So it's a made up thing, right? But I do have I work with a lot of restaurants. And say I have 5 different beacons. Does each beacon have to have the same message, or can there be different messages on the beacons? And can you rotate the messages? I mean, is it that absolutely infinite possibilities?
Absolutely infinite possibilities. Yeah. And so the other thing that we've learned with the beacon, so if you do research, and I encourage everyone who watches this to go start doing some research about beacon technology, proximity marketing is another buzzword in this circle, and chatbots. And I can help you do assisted research. I have a lot of stuff on my chatbot that I can lead people through. But I want you to go and look and see. There are other brands that have beacons. There are MLMs that sell beacons. There is not any one company that is managing beacons as an agency service, a done-for-you package for businesses. So now that we've kind of started talking about it, you can see there are a lot of moving pieces to any one business system with our programs. So we've taken all of the stress of learning how to do that, learning how to change the message, strategy of coming up with 40 character messages. Like, that's probably my favorite morning puzzle with my coffee. Come up with a couple of new catchy 40 character messages that also contains at least 2 emojis and a call to action, because that's what works.
Wow.
And you have to kind of scramble the brain up a little bit. So we lean into our agency. We have a team of people that all share the load on all of our accounts. And we create the messages. Of course, we take input from our businesses, and sometimes our clients come up with some zinger 40 character messages. But we don't want the pressure of that kind of creation to fall into a business owner that's already overwhelmed and overloaded, overworked, and hasn't seen their kids in a week. So that's where my heart is. When I get back to working with small business, I want to give people their time back. And you get time back by using automation and technology.
That's what I'm all about, is finding, and that's why I was excited to have you on. I'm all about, all right, this is what you do it really well, but how can we enhance that? Well, let's automate the things that will enhance it so that you don't have to even think about those things. So I'm always looking for kind of one-stop solutions for myself and for other people so that they don't have to add more to their plate. It's just automating things that they need to be doing or should be doing anyway that can really help get them the profitability and the results that they want.
Well, and this is the kind of thing too, where, so of course there's some development that has to happen when we take on a new client, but we have condensed that process to where we can turn on a switch for our client within about a week.
Awesome.
And that's a long time. The way that we build our chatbots, we've got multiple templates that we've tested, and we know that they convert really well just based on the structure. So we put that structure in, and then we can take the time to go in and read all the copy on your website and check out all your Facebook stuff and see how you as a brand communicate with your customers so that we can emulate that in your chatbot. And that is the most important piece, I think, of all of it. It's just to have that cohesiveness and consistency from all of your forward-facing things. So I'm going to blow your mind another little second and tell you another bit about why we're giving away chatbots. So, of course, the chatbot lives and sits in Facebook Messenger. The only requirement to have one is you have to have a Facebook business page, which almost everybody we talk to does. However, everybody that we talk to also has an Instagram and a YouTube page and a Pinterest page and all of their other social media fronts. So we're teaching our businesses how to cross-populate from all of these cool places where they have engagement, but they're not selling, and bring them all the way back into the Facebook Messenger bot to pre-qualify and educate all the people from all of these other platforms. And it's in a profile funnel kind of way.
Yep.
But we link everything together and we make that chatbot the hub of your social. So truthfully, when you go and you want to find the people who are interested and people who are closest to taking action, you only have to go to one place.
That's awesome.
5 places. Yeah. So, and the numbers work. It's all about that 8 to 10 to 12 exposures and 8 to 10 to 12 conversations and opportunities to give value and provide good service and just be fucking nice to your new customers before they're ready to think about buying. And if you do 2 of them on YouTube and we bring them into Facebook Messenger and we have a whole conversation sequence over a week that they're slowly getting over time, that person is very likely to become a buyer.
Well, yeah, if your chatbot's providing value and information and going through the whole selling, the whole selling process, yeah, and indoctrinating them into your culture and your business, talk about a competitive advantage.
Mm-hmm.
That are
we can do quick sales wins too. We have and this is one of those advanced level chatbot functions. So we have a basic bot, we have an advanced bot. We can take payments in chatbots.
Okay, now that's fantastic too.
Yep. I try to not get too. So you see now why I have to.
I'm not even going to be able to sleep tonight thinking about this and the applications of it for my people, because for people that I actually am close to that have their own businesses, because it is so amazing. I mean, I teach people how to do funnel stuff to create loyalty programs and things, but this is just taking it to like such a whole new level that it's pretty mind-boggling. Yeah. So when are you guys going to be ready?
We will have box in hand delivery middle of August on our beacon systems. Aside from that, we're already ready. We're an agency. We offer everything to do with the chatbot. We also help people with email marketing if they need it as an added service. We can do website tweaking and building. We can do Facebook ads. We can do blogging. There's just a plethora of ways that we can help businesses based on their need at the time. And we're able to kind of fine tune and individualize our packages for the agency services based on what that business really needs at the time.
Nice.
And make a plan for maybe growth over several months. Well, first we should do this, and then we'll do your chatbot and we'll come in and follow up with your email. Email marketing versus chatbots is really hard. So when you start doing research, you'll see that the number one reason people use chatbots is the 80% open rate, which is amazing.
I have 8,000 emails in my email box right now, and I used to be really good at them, but I think there's 8,000 in one of the folders in one email account, and I have more than one. Probably shouldn't confess that, but I do.
I have 4.
It's overwhelming. I mean, I'll pop in there, I'll scan through the days list and see if there's any subject lines I have to pay attention to. And then it's so overwhelming, I just leave it alone. And I communicate almost everything through Messenger and chatbots, which I swore I would never do. And then once I downloaded the app, I never went back. Like, how would I do it any other way? So.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's been really an awesome ride. And I feel like I've been riding the startup adrenaline wave for months now, which is pretty amazing. But we're really at
You're not even started yet, honey.
I know, but we're really we're at that place where we turn on the landing page. We have the green button. We knew that we were ready. I mean, we've been selling individual agency services, but we're ready for the first time to really lean in and start selling our beacons, which is our best tool for small businesses that want to engage their neighborhood.
Yeah.
And that's so many businesses that need to engage their neighborhood.
Absolutely. Local businesses, it's a whole new world for local businesses, just offering them this technology.
Oh, absolutely. Well, and then the other thing that we really consider too, targeting local on digital advertising, it's expensive.
Oh, very much so.
Crazy expensive to target a small bubble around your restaurant, small business, whatever.
Well, and it's not particularly effective. I think that the localized aspect of the beacon. So if somebody's in the area, they get the message and they decide to come into your place instead of going to the place next door where they didn't get a message that invited them in to your business or that's been having a conversation with them. That is so powerful, because I know that when we go out to eat, how we decide where to go is, number one, the people who have the restaurant and the brand that we've always felt comfortable with and like we are important to the owner. And then, is food and service. It's just got to be awesome.
It's got to be 100%, or I am.
That's like the basic barrier to entry to any restaurant or bar, as far as I'm concerned, is you have to do your thing and you have to do it perfectly every time, because there's too many choices for people. But if you can have communication and just give people a little bit of an edge in the local market, I think that is so incredibly powerful.
Yeah. So a good future use example. So we're sitting on this right now. We are ready for rollout for our basic beacon packages, which is amazing. And of course, because we're a team of entrepreneurs that never stop thinking about the things, we're continuing to develop the rest of the things that our beacons can do. We are going to have some really awesome shit for restaurants. I love restaurants. I just do. I know.
My life, it has been for 4 decades, and you kind of get it in your blood and you're like,
yeah, and you love to hate on it, but
you still love it.
I love it. Like the buzz of a restaurant. It's my favorite sound still. But I don't miss my 14-hour days on my feet. So there's that.
Business either. I mean, I'm sure there's people listening that are like rolling because they're like, I can't believe you're not making those ravioli anymore. I mean, I get like hate mail because people want the ravioli and the Italian food. We made handmade Italian food, and I get that. I miss it too, because I used to eat it almost every day. But I do not miss. I'm sitting here in my bathrobe, right, and in my pajamas. I don't miss having to go down to the shop and make.
God, no.
Every day. So,
mine, I was the same but different. I'm from the South, and then we moved. I did lots of years in the South in restaurants and got really damn good at my Southern thing. But I also had 2 grandmothers teach me how to cook. Yeah. I can measure in my hand, like that kind of. My grandmothers teach me how to cook. And then I brought my delicious Southern food to Michigan. Nice. And really found my stride because I had something really unique here and I did it really well. I've had people send me emails asking me if they could buy a batch of biscuits.
Oh, I get like every week, please make ravioli. And I'm like, yeah, not happening. I sold most of my equipment. I have my one secret machine, but that's it. Everything else went. So I'm like, no. So
I right now am cooking up a really cool system so I live in Michigan, and I live kind of right on Lake Michigan, and it's really seasonal here. So a lot of times the restaurants that are right on the water close in the winter, like shut the doors. Everybody goes to Florida, and then they come back.
Wisconsin too.
But then when we open back up for season, everybody flocks to the lakeshore because it's so beautiful, and the climate here is like perfect. It's amazing. But there are these waterside businesses that have these tiny little bitty indoor spaces and a giant deck with patio furniture and a team of hosts and servers that are trying to figure out which plastic table is supposed to be which table number. Where the hell is this person? I can't find them to give them their food. We're coming up with a beacon solution for that. It's already been developed by the company we source our beacons through. And it could look something like a sweet little bracelet.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah. So if you have like an open deck environment and you're letting people order food and drinks, you beacon it and you can find it within a meter.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, it's amazing. And then furthermore, you can make it personalized. You can store their first name. If like you have a high dollar client that always comes in. You can store their favorite menu item, their favorite drink, like all these personal details to allow your staff to give over the top service.
Wonderful.
Which is what I love. I love to be swooned with service.
Yep. So everybody does. Everybody wants to be special. And most of the time, not treated
really well too. If I'm sitting in a restaurant and they nail it,
yep.
Oh, my husband, he's like, "You have cash for your tip today, right?" I'm like,
"Yes, honey."
Sure do. How about a 20? That's like,
yeah, extraordinary customer service is so rare. So if you can do anything in your business to stand above, and messenger bots are ideal for that.
Oh, Lord, yes.
Continuing the conversation and making people feel special and increasing their status and just giving them a modicum of customer service. I mean, customer service is so bad in most industries nowadays that it's a huge competitive advantage just to treat people nice.
The other part of the messenger system that I think is my favorite, it's that consensual action part. I mean, you know, go gorillas go, but I hate to be cold messaged, despise it. I'll delete anybody who reaches out to me like that, and I'll never walk into their store. So we're creating systems that do not do that at all.
Nice.
At all. So the Facebook Messenger bot, once you get people opted in, which is something that they physically do while they're in our immersive sales experience between the NFC, the beacon, and the bot on their phone, right? They're like, oh shit, this is so cool. They remember that. It was really cool. They then get to choose their own path through the information that is laid out.
Nice.
And they have control over the conversation.
Yeah, that's wonderful. Yeah, I hate, it comes from being in the getting clients without being salesy group. I think I felt that way before, but since I've been in that group, I can't
put a name on it. Yeah.
Every time. One guy, you know, I got the hello beautiful yesterday. And I'm like, seriously, dude?
Oh no.
How did you get accepted in my messenger? How did you even get in here? Number one. Must have had a bunch of mutual friends, and then I feel bad and I almost want to go look and see who the heck do you know that I would have accepted your friend request? And I'm like, who's teaching you this stuff? Does somebody teach guys to act that way online? I think it's just super creepy.
It's weird. Yeah, it's awful.
And the same thing with the sales messages. It's like, yeah, nobody wants to be cold sold anymore. We're getting too smart.
It doesn't work.
Nope. Same with my business. You know, every day, I can't tell you how many calls we get. We kind of stopped answering the phone and just always let it go to voicemail, because about 90% of the calls we got were like junk cold calling calls. Now, once in a while, somebody would call me and I was actually needing something and I would buy it on the spot, but it was because I was already thinking of it and I needed it. Those people were few and far between, but very lucky. Because they didn't have to sell me at all. I'm like, okay, you can stop talking now. Just send it to me.
I've seen your website already. I like your thing.
I already know I need this. I've been looking for it. I've been sourcing it out. You called first, so you get the sale, right? Yeah. But for the most part, all those calls were just an annoyance and an interruption. And people, we don't want to be interrupted anymore, I don't think.
No, and it's really important to find unique and memorable ways to engage with your customers.
Right.
And that's what we built. And it's
all about the experience. And that's so exciting.
Yes, it's so exciting. So exciting.
Since we started our broadcast over again, I had saved your links and things, but I don't have them anymore. So now you're just going to have to tell everybody, because I don't have them anymore. I didn't recreate them when I set up the meeting again. So what's the best way to get in touch with you to find out more?
Right now, the best way to get in touch with me is to find Enlighten Collective on Facebook. You could also look for CNC Small Business Solutions. That was my former personal business page that is going through a really big makeover right now. So if you can't find Aurora Beacons on Facebook, look for Enlighten Collective. Either way, you'll find us. You could also reach out to me directly on Facebook, and that's totally fine too. We love to share our stuff. Love it.
Because it's awesome.
It's awesome. I know. The moment when I get into a place in a business, when I'm talking to an owner about using our system and I can pull it out and I have a beacon on and it's broadcasting, but they don't know to look for it. That's a big important piece of this right now. The beacon technology is so new. They even in the groups of beacon developers that I'm in, people are really struggling with how you still have to put out a paper sign. But the reality is that you have to put out a sign.
You have to educate people on.
You have to show people what to do.
You absolutely have to. And that's part of the fun, and that's part of the experience, and that's part of the business owner getting to be the early adopter. And
absolutely
of being
we're training, we are literally educating people across the country about how Bluetooth messages for marketing are actually a thing. And every once in a while, if you turn them on and look for them, you could get a pretty sweet deal. The other reality is that there are tons of huge brands that have been using beacons for years.
Wow.
Years and years and years. So we were really excited to be able to kind of close that gap between freaking Best Buy and Starbucks and Joe Schmo Small Business and offer them the same technology, which is pretty
awesome.
So, yeah. Best Buy, my favorite beacon story from a big brand is my best friend who went in to shop for a laptop, and she knew that Best Buy used beacons, and they're really awesome at it. If you want to see a good beacon system, just go visit Best Buy. As you move through their store, the offers that show up on your phone will be different based on where you are physically in their store.
Wow.
So she was standing at the laptop, shopping for a laptop, and just kind of glancing at her phone every once in a while, and they gave her a $300 off.
Nice.
Opt-in. Yeah. Just because she knew how to look for it. So that was...
I was going to say, I hadn't even really heard of them until I talked to you. I mean, I admit I'm markedly naive and old. And so new technology misses me a lot.
Yeah.
I'm still using it. Like, I mean, look at the quality of the picture on my laptop. I obviously need to upgrade that. I almost got my new one out and used it today, but I was afraid I'd mess it up before I started the call. So I thought, now I'll just use the old one again.
That's classic. If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
I'm terrible about that. I lost both my computers in February this year for 5 days. I was like, it was terrible. I was like shaking, and which tells me I'm too inundated with technology. So for somebody that wasn't doing anything online until a year and a half ago, that's pretty pathetic. But I lived through it. So I would bet that, what do you think the percentage of the population is that even knows that beacons are out there?
It's small. Like, people know that they exist, but they don't know where to look.
Or how they work, or what they're doing, or they probably just think it's a big brother government thing or something.
They do, or they think that it's a really well-targeted ad program, which, I mean, really it is. But
it is, right?
Yeah. No, so another large brand that I know uses beacons really well is CVS.
Okay.
So if you go into a CVS, turn on your Bluetooth. That's really the secret. Turn on your Bluetooth. And so as our brand is working through some of the objections that we have with our customers, we're starting to really dive into the research of, well, how many phone users actually do have their Bluetooth on? It's a shit ton.
Yeah. I do want to make my when I come home, I usually turn it off, because otherwise everybody in the house mixes up everything. And my computers were actually really being weird, because my son's technology, and he's like super technological. I'm not. So all the stuff he was doing down in his room was totally messing with all my technology. And I'm like, you need to turn all that off. You're killing me. Trying to do Facebook Lives and things. And I'm like,
yeah. So just turn on your Bluetooth every once in a while. I can tell you that on the marketing side, we are looking for areas and well-populated places where people naturally pause.
Mm-hmm.
So beacons aren't good for driving up and down the highway.
Right.
They're good for bumping down a street. Does that make sense?
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah, because you want people to have time.
I'm curious about how you guys are going to market this. I'm just we don't have to talk about it now, but I'm just really curious how you're going to target and how you're going to market and who you're going to market to first, just because I think it's fascinating.
Yeah, we'll have a chat about it. I'd love to hash some of that stuff out with a third party, truth be told. So.
I would, because otherwise you'll be like me. You try to do 8 million things and, 7 or 8 businesses, and then you end up dropping dead because it's too much, and it doesn't have to be. So.
Yeah, well, my favorite part about working with our team, like we have a fantastic team. The only reason we've been able to grow so fast this year is because everything has literally been so easy to do with the people that we work with.
Nice.
There's no fighting. There's no arguing. There is no bitching. There is, hey, I did this thing. Do you like it? And we're like, hell yeah, we like that thing. Do the thing.
Yeah.
Okay, done.
It'll be interesting as you grow, though, because I can see this just like taking off like wildfire. And that's going to be your biggest challenge is how do you maintain the team that you've got and then grow to a bigger team or outsource pieces of it and still maintain the quality. That's where it gets messy. And that's what I like to do is grow through the messiness.
Yeah, the mess. Well, I think that starting in a food industry really kind of leads you to really appreciate the growth through the mess.
The mess?
Yeah.
And the growth and the chaos because the
predictable unpredictability.
Yep. Absolutely.
And so when I made a big switch to entrepreneurship, that it's just what I found over and over that people were struggling with. And that's not something I struggle with. So that was a really easy check on the box. Next thing. Nice. Okay.
That's really cool.
Takes a lot to get us.
Entrepreneurs don't settle into like their thing and their one thing, even if they're combining three things and creating into something new. That's still one new thing that you've created. Most people, I will say from personal experience, most of us business owners don't do that. We're trying to go way too many different directions, and that's in trouble.
Well, we've developed through the planning stage as we were doing research and as we were actually putting beacons on the ground with businesses and getting data back. And we realized all of the other things that we needed. And had we not gone through that test, adjust, development phase, we would have missed a huge piece of our outreach system. So we're calling our product a digital outreach system.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
It's a whole blue ocean.
We're swimming in it, baby.
I know. It's like really exciting. It's super.
It is. A year ago, if you would have told me a year ago today, I was in my last week, literally my last week at that restaurant. I would have never believed you if you told me that I was going to be doing a product launch.
Nice.
This week. Yeah. It's amazing.
All right. If you would put a link in the comments when we're done talking so people can find you easily after the video's up, that would be awesome.
Absolutely will. The link that I put in the comments will actually have a double purpose. It's the best way to get a hold of me. But it's also a great place for anyone who's really curious as to what a chatbot looks and feels like. It's a link into my chatbot, so you can kind of get a little piece of that.
Awesome. That's what I was hoping you would say. I wanted you to put a link in because I'm like, I was just going to use like your Facebook link and then the Aurora name and stuff. But I'm like, I think this is way better.
We do. We use our tools to teach people how to use our tools.
Love that.
Sure. Yep. You have to. People have to experience it.
Very cool.
So, Sharon,
you else you can tell us? I'm so excited for what's coming. And it's going to be fun to watch.
Yeah.
Participating.
We're also always looking for people, if you know of people that are looking to come in and do some intern work, learn some viable, sellable skills. We have an awesome thing going, and we want to be able to bring people on and teach them from the bottom up.
Nice.
How to be part of our team. If we don't, we are going to end up having to hire out a lot. And I would rather bring people in, teach them skills that they can then use to monetize their own projects.
Right.
And also help us develop our business. So there's lots of opportunities there. So yeah.
I will let you know if I find anybody. I actually put a call up for a couple of interns for myself because I got to do some things too with my business as we're growing. And I got that idea from you.
It is really, really important. So this is another thing that comes through my chef years, right? So being a woman and being a chef was really fucking hard, especially when I transitioned to being a mother and being a chef, because my mindsets were opposed each other. And I was always in constant conflict with myself of, I want to be able to help people grow and learn and develop, because swear to God, the restaurant industry is going to die if people don't start bucking up and training kids how to do stuff really well.
Oh, absolutely. Yep.
It will die. It's already happening.
Yeah.
And that was something that was really important to me, and that has transcended through. It is so important to offer people when they're young a way to learn skills that they can make money for themselves. Absolutely. Right from the beginning. I had an amazing conversation yesterday. Tanya, my business partner, and I, we did our Tuesday Talk Live with Ashley Sanders, who's a copy producer, and she's running an amazing project for young kids. And the whole premise behind it is if we don't teach these kids that they can learn on their own, they're going to get sucked in by a predatory coach and fucked. Yep. And it happens all the time. And I would rather grow babies. So it's awesome. Sharon, thank you so much.
Thank you so much. I'm so excited, and I'm sure people will be getting in touch with you, and I will talk to you soon. You have an awesome day.
You do too.
Bye. Take care.
Bye.